can do nothing but good things for your company. And for Ring of Honor to be featured in the main event scene, basically, every other promotions were featured in the film, and no disrespect to them, but, you could see there were smaller arenas, and it kind of was it built up to the big final match with Randy the Ram and the Ayatollah, and it happened to happen in a Ring of Honor building, in a Ring of Honor ring with Ring of Honor signage everywhere. I think it made Ring of Honor look great, and the publicity from it has been very good, from the electronic media to print media. Every town we go to, everyone seems to want to talk about Ring of Honor's involvement in the wrestling. So it's been great.
Right, and did you just do the announcing for that scene, or was it multiple scenes, or how did that go?
Yeah, the taping of that scene actually happened at 2 Ring of Honor events over 2 different nights at the same building, and I did the ring announcing for the main event scene of Randy the Ram and the Ayatollah. I probably must have announced that match about 15 times, and I kept shooting it from different angles and stuff. But it's definitely exciting to actually attend the premiere in New York in October and see myself on a big screen. I really never thought that was going to happen, so that was a thrill.
That's awesome. Now, like I said, we also have a couple other hosts on here. Demetrius also watched because he's fortunate to have HDnet. Demetrius, you still on there with us?
Yes, sir, I am. Bobby, thanks a lot for coming on, man. I am fortunate enough to have Dish Network, and I made it my business to make sure I was at home Saturday night, I think 8 o'clock Eastern, so I could make sure that I was there to see Ring of Honor's debut. You mentioned the little history video that was done. I also really liked the way you guys introed the wrestlers as they came out. There was like a little bar that came up on the side. They would introduce themselves. It would show like their finishers and things like that. I was really impressed with Kenny King and things like that. Talk a little bit about how you got to Ring of Honor. Like, how did it come about that you became the announcer for Ring of Honor?
All right. Well, first of all, just a quick note. I totally agree with you on that stuff. We called it Smack Talk, and the wrestlers cutting little promos and the little fax box about coming up. I think it's huge because, like Darius mentioned earlier, a lot of these wrestlers have never been seen by these people watching on HDnet, and it gives a little bit of personality, a little bit of background to the guys. So I'm sure that'll continue for quite a while. My involvement in Ring of Honor really started in 2003 with when I started doing the Steve Corino intros that used to get quite a reaction. Steve was having a feud with Homicide back in 2003, and he was making his big return to Ring of Honor, and he sent me a quick IM online one night and said, hey, I'm going back to Ring of Honor, and I'm thinking of having this quote-unquote heel ring announcer, and I'd like you to do it. And that's really my first appearance with Ring of Honor. Of course, I had heard of Ring of Honor, excuse me, and I'd known people that had worked for Ring of Honor, but I'd never seen a Ring of Honor event. And I remember being in Fairfield, Connecticut for that first Corino Homicide match that I did do the Corino intros for, and just being blown away. The lighting, the athleticism, the production, it was just a great thing. And after a while, the Corino intros died down, and they came to me about a year later and asked me and said, hey, if the full-time ring announcer spot becomes available, we'd like you to take it. Would you be interested? And I jumped at the opportunity, and that was about November of 2004, so about 4.5 years on the road, basically doing every Ring of Honor show. It's been a huge thrill.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I can imagine that it is. Now, you were mentioning that you guys have some upcoming show tapings going on. I know that a lot of people are anticipating seeing. We've been hearing a lot about the Ring of Honor World Champion Nigel McGuinness. Can you talk a little bit about what the people that are new to Ring of Honor and are going to see it on HDnet, what they're going to see from Nigel McGuinness?
They're going to see a cocky, arrogant, very stuck on himself personality. That's what they're going to see, but they're also going to see one of the best wrestlers in the world. There's no doubt about that. He can back up everything he says. His reign in Ring of Honor now is pushing some serious time here. And he has battled everybody. He has defeated just about everybody on numerous occasions. It's just been quite a run to watch Nigel McGuinness really come into his own in the past 2 years especially. He had a big win a few years ago over Samoa Joe for the Ring of Honor Pure Wrestling title when that title was active. But the past couple of years, Nigel McGuinness has just been on top of his game, and he has, totally deserved 100% to be the Ring of Honor World Champion.
All right. Now, when you look at, when I watch Ring of Honor, and like I said, I had to kind of get myself familiar with Ring of Honor by looking at some YouTube. Like I said, I'm so glad I got HDnet so that I can see you guys week in and week out. When I watch you guys show, and not just because you guys are doing the tapings in the old ECW arena, but I remember back in the WWF, WCW days when ECW was that third alternative, and they kind of generated a buzz and had a huge following. Do you kind of see Ring of Honor as that, and with WWE and TNA now as that third option? You guys are generating a buzz, and you guys are on the rise. Do you kind of see it in that same light?
Yeah, in a way, I think. I think there's no doubt, like you said, ECW back then was an alternative, and I think that's what we are. We're an alternative to WWE and TNA. Over the past couple of years, WWE and TNA, or I should say TNA, has become more similar to WWE, with the backstage stuff and stuff like that. And as was mentioned earlier, we are, you have to have some of that stuff. You have to have the backstage promos, and you have to develop personalities. But Ring of Honor has always been based on the action in the ring. And so I think if people have had enough of, the talking and this and that, and, on a 2-hour program seeing 30 minutes of wrestling, well, they can tune in Ring of Honor and watch an hour program and see over 30 minutes of wrestling. So I think in that way, I think we're definitely a strong alternative.
Yes, definitely. Now, do you think that Ring of Honor will ever stray from that? Do you think you'll ever get into more storylines, or are you guys just going to focus, strictly on the wrestling, not all the backstage vignettes and things of that nature? Are you guys going to, through the years stick to the pure wrestling?
I would say, if I had to guess, we'll see a little bit more of the backstage stuff because you have to on TV, especially where you have a whole new audience with HDnet, similar to when we went on the pay-per-view. You're getting a whole new audience that's really never seen the show before. So we lucked out with this whole smack talk thing and the guys cutting promos on their way to the ring. That helps us, and it doesn't cost us any time of wrestling. All that is entrance time. But, I would assume, not knowing anything else, I would guess you'll see a little bit more of it, but not to the level of the other two companies. If we did that, we'd be just like them, and we wouldn't be an alternative. And we want to be that alternative. We want to be a wrestling company. We don't claim to be an entertainment company. We are a wrestling company. And, that's our strong point. You really got to stick with what you do best.
All right. Well, Darius, are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here, guys. Sorry, my baby was crying, and I was trying to attend that. But I definitely, excuse me, guys, I'm fighting the cold here. But yeah, Ring of Honor is blowing up. Guys, if you haven't caught them on HDnet and you have access, you need to do so. They've got some tapings coming up April 9th and 10th in Philly. They've got shows in Montreal on April 17th. There's shows in Toronto April 18th. Shows in Dayton on April 24th, and Chicago Ridge April 25th. It's if you need more information, make sure you check out the website. It's ROHwrestling.com. That's ROHwrestling.com to get more news and notes. Find out where they'll be in your area. It definitely appears that y'all are on the right path there, Bobby. And it seems that our time is almost up here. And then I thank you for coming on. It doesn't seem it flew by for me. Maybe we can get you back on at another time so we can continue this discussion.
Oh, absolutely, guys. Anytime you want to talk, I'm up for it. And real quick, I